Hello and welcome back. This is a 1969 catalogue. There's a great wagon that came available in this year. Just look at the bottom of page 19 here. We've got R.666, the BR CARTIC car carrier, complete with 16 multicoloured scale model Minix cars. What a great item. So we'll just pop the old catalogue down and we'll have a look at this box. So when they got it in the box, strangely, they've got the old catalogue number on here, R.666, but then they've gone to this effort of calling it an articulated car carrier with detachable bogie and 16 Minix cars. I think that's really an overcomplicated name to put on the end of a box. Absolutely correct, of course. Terrific box. Has seen better days. Ends of it are beginning to sort of wear away. And we've got this wonderful bold graphic on the back there. I think if we just pop that down. So in the box you would have got the two parts of the wagon, and moulded in this sort of blue. It's not a single piece mould, I believe it's in two, and the bogies are added separately. We've got plastic wheels on pinpoint axles, and a fair bit of detail there. And there's no sort of operating ramps on these, so the play value is actually quite limited with these. And then to join the two halves together, you would have had the bogie. And these are quite delicate, these little pins there. And they just fit into there, the two parts hold the wagon together. We'll have a look at those when they're in the layout. It's such a long wagon, it's difficult to see all in one. And we do have a nice metal ladder on either side, and the important BR Motor Rail logo there. I don't think these were a very accurate representation of the real life model, the real life wagon. They were apparently the two halves were different lengths in real life, and although Triang sold them with 16 cars, they only really had 12 cars. They carried 12 cars in real life, and indeed in 1971 Triang changed to selling this with 12 cars rather than the 16. We'll just pop this down. Now there's no internal packaging left in this box. I don't know whether it had a complicated card arrangement to hold all the cars in place. Some of the cars are still in their original boxes. And then we've got these wonderful packaging here. We've got these tokens you could collect if you got many of these tokens. There were gifts available. And we've got this wonderful illustrations on the back of this box. It says RC10 Hillman Imp. That lovely blue colour with the silvery wheels. And we'll just have a look here, and it could tell you what you could redeem if you got so many tokens. It's quite an interesting scheme. Now some of these boxes are missing this piece of card in the packaging. We'll just have a look at this red one. Here we go. See the top part of the packaging is missing there, and that one tells us it's a RC2 Morris 1100. Again, box has seen better days. It's a bit squashed, so it's definitely being used. This, but some of the cars haven't been taken out of the cellophane, or the cellophane is slightly damaged. So I'm not sure whether this one's ever been out of the box, but we'll leave it in the box. So there's nothing rubber stamped on the end there. And again, that one tells us it's a RC12 Austin 1800. I'm not really up on my cars, so I'll take it that is that car, so I'm not going to take it out and have a look. Just pop that down. We've got some unboxed ones as well, which came out of the box. So quite a nice thing to have. There we go, that says that's a Austin 1800. That's the same vehicle, isn't it, but in yellow. So we have got the right one in the box there. So these showed up on Dave Angel's fantastic website, and I was really pleased to get these. I've been after at least one of these for a while, and then these three showed up, so I was very pleased with it. I'll leave a link to Dave Angel's fantastic website in the description box. So just so I don't have to take these three out of the cellophane, I'm going to pinch a couple of coloured cars from these R342 car transporters. I have just blue tacked these on because they tend to roll around all over the place, and as you'll see with the CARTICs, I haven't blue tacked all of them on, but the occasional one just to stop them rolling around when we're using them. So I think I'm probably going to pick this nice bright red one, this blue, and this green one, just to make up the load, just so we can leave those in the cellophane. So I'll just remove these from the other car transporters. We've just got a little bit of blue tack here, just between the wheels, just to hold them into place. So we'll just pop those on. So as I say, I haven't blue tacked them all on. There's just far too many and fiddly to get inside. So that one's got a bit of blue tack on. And we'll just pop that in. There we go, and this lovely bright red Ford Angular here. And we'll just pop that on the end. And that should prevent them from rolling around too much. And then we'll just bring up the other wagon with we've got the shared bogie here with the 2 pins. So we'll just hook that on. There we go, I think we're off at the other end there. I wonder how this lot's going to behave through the points. Now I've got the EM2 pulling along these wagons today, nicely past the Pullman there in the passing loop. Wonderful bright colours those cars, aren't they? And under the elevated section, passing the Teep coaches and the Flying Scotsman. Now she's going to approach the 3rd radius curve now, and we're going to go up the incline section, off into the distance. It shouldn't present too much of a problem. They're relatively heavy, these wagons, with all those wheels. We do have the magnesium on the EM2. That really helps. Doesn't that look great going off into the distance and onto the old suspension bridge? Makes such a great sound. All of those cars slightly echoey and wobbling on the decks of those car transporters. A really great sight. We've got this wonderful model of the EM2 named Electra here today, pulling these great wagons. You can see she's catalogue number R.666, and on the end of the box here it says Coco Class EM2 electric locomotive with magnesium. That gives it that extra pulling power on the incline today. She's quite a powerful model and a very smooth running one as well. And she's in this blue livery, and she does have this unusual running number which dates her quite late on in the production run, E27000. And the box has seen better days, and somebody has scribbled on it, and it's got a bit of a tear in it. Some scribbling there. We'll have a quick look at the back end of the box. And again, that lovely bold graphics, bit of sellotape here and there. Now I don't have the original paperwork which came with the model, but there are these 2 pieces of paper which came with it. This one would have been laid across the top of the locomotive between the pantographs, and it's asking you to refer to page 5 of a supplementary instruction manual on the overhead operation. So that's quite a nice little thing to have. And then this appears on quite a lot of models. It's installed between the wheels, advising you not to directly connect these to the mains, and they must be oiled properly before use. So we'll just have a look at the model in this wonderful vac form packaging. So you know I'm really keen on this style of packaging, especially when trying to put the catalogue number in the corner there, R.666. It has split a little bit over the years, but it has kept the model in quite nice condition. If you want to have a look at one of these EM2s in more detail, I had a video earlier in the year where we had a look inside them and a closer look at them, so just having a swift look today. This one's not in that great a condition. It looks like somebody's had to go at weathering it in the past. It has some sort of unusual markings in the plastic, but she is definitely a very smooth runner. Just a swift look at her out of the box. We've got the power bogie here. We have dummy wheels in the centre here, so we've just got drive wheels at either end of it. And then we've got the dummy bogie. And we've got a full set of plastic wheels. They're sleeved on metal axles. We've got closed axle boxes. And if we just look in underneath here, you can see this whitening of the plastic there. So somebody's had a go at it at some time. I believe it has been weathered or unweathered at some point. We can see the effects of possibly weathering or gluing here, but reasonably tidy condition. But as I say, she does run rather well. Just have a swift look at the other side there. Just backing off the power a little as we come down the incline there, passing the Pullman in the sidings again. Now this model has a lovely sounding motor, just listen to it. I think that's really smooth, isn't it? And then there's the tiniest wobble on these wagons. Now we're going to take her through the crossover onto the inside line. This will be a real test for her. EM2's through, look at those wagons. But those cars are beginning to move around a little bit. It looks very bumpy. I'm going to switch the points again. Look at that beautiful shot coming up past the Freightliners and the signal box, and you can hear that motor. Really lovely set this. Yeah, definitely some of those cars beginning to come adrift. I think I should have used a little more blue tack. Fine view across the layout there with some fine looking 70s models, I think. Now, I think the Hornby Railways did reintroduce the model of the CARTIC transporter, again in the late 80s, called the Silcock Express. I'm not entirely sure that the R number was the same, but it was in bright orange. Look at that coming back through the crossover. I'll switch those points. Tiny wobble there over the diamond crossing, and again up the elevated section, just passing the Pullman sitting in the siding there again. Really nice sound, and off into the distance. Coloured light signals there. Just look at that as she goes around the bend. You can see those pantographs far off in the distance approaching the suspension bridge. We'll just have a swift look at a couple of these Minix cars here. We've got a Ford Angular in that lovely bright red, and it's all chromed plastic underneath, very bright. And then we've got the Minix brand name there, Ford Angular, made in England. We'll just pop that down and pluck another one off. I think this is one of my favourites, this. So a lovely blue colour. We'll switch it over there. It says number 7, Sunbeam Alpine. I don't know whether you can see that. And there's a Minix brand there, made in England. Very smart looking car that. I think I would have liked to have driven one of those. We'll just pick up this one. It's a lovely yellow colour, isn't it? It's a very dated looking colour. It's quite special, I think. Cars that look that colour. Here we go. We've got the Minix brand, made in England. I think that says number 8. And that's a Hillman Minx by the look of it. It's got a tow hook on it there. We'll just pop that down again. It is a lovely shade of yellow, isn't it? I'll just pick this one up. It's a very odd shade of green, this, isn't it? And this is another Hillman. I believe this is the Hillman Imp. We'll just turn that over so we can read it. I think that says number 10 there, Hillman Imp. We've got the Minix brand, made in England there. And these lovely silvery wheels. So I think they sold many thousands of these, millions if not, I think. I think by the time Hornby Railways got hold of it, they were just sort of wagon loads, and they weren't really being sold as individual items anymore. So I've just removed the rest of the cars from this half of the wagon, and we'll just have a swift look at it again. You can see we've got the old motor rail branding on the side and the BR logo there. It's just a paper label stuck on, I believe. A couple of the labels on the other wagons I have are reproductions. As we said earlier, it's a 2-part mould, I think. So you've got the main part of the wagon with the uprights and the base, and then the upper deck, which has some lovely detail on it, is a separate clip-in part. You can see it's clipped into the end there. And there we have a ladder at either end, some minimal detail there. And underneath we have a little bit of underframe detail, what might be a hydraulic line running along here, but strangely, Trying Hornby haven't put their name on it. We just have made in England. I think that's quite odd. A very simple connection there to the shared bogie. So quite simple things really. The deck inside on the lower deck there has fairly nice detail too. It's quite difficult to see there. But quite a simple thing, but lacking slightly in play value without a ramp of some sort, I think. It would have been a bit more of an appeal if it had that, and possibly an unloading station maybe. I don't think Trying Hornby ever made a unloading ramp for these. That would have been quite a nice addition for a platform section perhaps. I'm not entirely sure whether these wagons were designed for British Rail to move passengers' cars around, or for car manufacturers to move stock from the factories to the ports perhaps. But here we've got the old restaurant car and a sleeper coach and a brake coach and one of the CARTICs on the end. Perhaps could have been used to cover one of the longer distance services in the United Kingdom, so you could take your car along on holiday or business perhaps. Still, it makes a very interesting group of models, doesn't it?
I think that's probably it for this week. And if you look back next week, we'll have something else interesting from the Tryon Hornby period and a little look at the track plan that I've made. But I think I'm going to leave you with page 21 from the 1971 catalogue, and it shows this wonderful CARTIC wagon with just the 12 cars. Thanks again for watching. Goodbye now.